So you drew this doghouse, this first part of the doghouse. So that's great. Let's get on to the second part of it if you'd like. I want to make this look a little bit more realistic, so I'm going to use the push-pull command over here again. So I've got it buried under another command, but it's right there. And I'm going to go and I'm going to push and pull this, and I grab that roof and pull it 4. I don't care what the materials do, it's all good. And I'm going to pull this one 4. And then I end up with this little diamond on top. So I need to draw this with a pencil. The way I'm moving actually is to zoom in and out, I use the wheel. And then when I want to orbit, I hold the wheel down and I can just move around a little bit. I want to show you a little bit more about how this part of this line tool will work here. If I sort of hover over this line, SketchUp is smart enough that it's going to give me a magenta line. And this sort of magenta is like in the same angle as a line that I'm drawing from. So if I hover here for a moment and then I pull and it ends up being magenta, there it is. That is in the same angle, so it's really important. So the color of the line that you're drawing is really important as you draw it. So there's a diamond. Now I'm going to push and pull this. I'm going to grab the push and pull. And some of you might not need to do this. I did a previous example and I didn't actually need to draw that diamond. It drew it on its own. But there's some good stuff that comes out of this too. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines here. And that's going to be a nice face there. Get rid of those lines. I don't need those. For some of you, it also might not have, these lines might not have worked. You might have to do that yourself. And one way you can do that is just to use the offset command. The offset command is over here and under the push and pull. So I can just use offset. And to get these 4-inch fascias here, sometimes you can just offset 4 inches. I don't have to do it on this time, but I'll show you how to do that in a little bit too. And that's how you can start to, it just depends what ended up happening in your model. Sometimes it acts a little goofy. Now I can take this whole face and I can move it out 6 inches to give me a little bit of a fascia. I can do the same thing here. I can move this out 6. So what I do is I pull it in the direction that I want to go, and then I type in 6. Pull the direction I want to go. Type in 6. I don't need to hit inches. Inches is the default. Go over here and type in 6. All these little goofy lines, I don't need them. So I'm going to get rid of that line and watch the material will all become the same, which is good. Same thing up here. Whenever it's a thin line, I can get rid of it, and then all that just becomes the same face. Get rid of these little goofy lines under here. I think it's all cleaned up. Oh, get rid of that one there too. Looks good. So I want to make this white. So I'm going to choose the white color in my materials over here. I'm just going to find that one. Just go to colors, and then white's about a little bit of the way down. That roof changed too much. That's okay. We'll leave it as white. And then I do want to change that that roof back. So go back to asphalt, and it's asphalt and concrete. Oh, it's in roofing. I'm going to close the colors here. There's too many of those. Roofing. I'm going to go to that asphalt shingle there. So asphalt, and the other one is for like asphalt road. So I got this nice. I have this nice roof and a nice little white fascia. So the other thing I can do now is I can go back to the push and pull, which is over here. And if I click underneath that, it'll pull up the offset command. I want to put a little trim around this little door here. So now I can just grab that face and move it. And if I just type in 4, it'll give me a 4-inch offset from that line right there. 4 inches from all edges. So I don't need all these things. I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to finish that line off. Again, it's in the blue direction, right? It's blue, because that means it's drawing up and down. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to delete the rest of these lines. Don't need them. Oops, I need that one. A couple there on Control Z, one of my best buddies. Oops, I need that one too. Just testing you. Don't need these ones. So I just want to make this little piece of trim here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and pull it. So I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull it out 1 inch just to make it look like it's this nice little piece of trim. And then I'm going to put this white material on it. So if I go back to my materials, I want the whites. I want colors. And I'm going to go back to the white, select that, and then my paint bucket should appear. And I'm going to go and I'm going to paint all of this. I'm going to make a nice white trim, 4 inches wide, 1 inch deep. Get all those sides. Just make sure that little dot is on the actual trim. Here I want to do the same thing here, but if I offset this, it's a little bit different, so I have to do something a little different. So if I offset 4 inches, it's actually offsetting from the outside. It's not pulling up this little square. So I got to kind of make something up a little bit as I go along. I'm just going to draw a face here. I'm going to draw a rectangular face over that. Then I'm going to offset that. So sometimes you have to kind of think outside the box a little bit. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that either. My mouse is being goofy. So I'm going to offset that thing 4 inches, and then I can just delete that face. Go back in there, grab that whenever it's got those dots. It's going to select it, and then I can just push and pull this thing. Again, it's under offset now. Pull it out 1 inch, and then I want to select that material. So there's another way, if I can find it here. I can use the, under the paint bucket is called the eyedropper. So I can sample the material. I can go grab that material if I don't want to go back, and then I can just put it right on here. And if I want to go right under the paint bucket here, over here, if I want to go sample another, say I want to put a roof on there, I can just do that. Of course, I don't want to do that. That looks not good. So I'm going to use the eyedropper. It's called the sample material. It used to be called the eyedropper. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to finish all this up insides too. Make that all look super slick. There's a way I could have made that a little bit simpler too, so I don't have to go get all those edges. I could have done it a little bit easier. And the way that is once I offset it once, if I change the material, then pull it out, then it'll actually, I don't have to go grab all those edges. So there's kind of Doghouse version 2.0. Hope you enjoyed that.